Welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today. We're excited to have you here for our webinar on how to get found in AI chatbots and AI search featuring Stu Eddins, Chief Digital Strategy Officer here at Stamats. Over the next 30 minutes, Stu will walk us through practical strategies for improving your organization's visibility in AI-powered search results, covering key areas like meaning, structure, and answers, plus how to measure success once you put it all into action. A quick note before we begin, everybody will receive a follow-up email in the next few days with the recording and the slide deck. And as you listen, please leave your questions in the Q&A section. We'll make sure to address them during the Q&A right after this presentation. And with that, Stu, let's begin.
Welcome to Stamats' presentation of Rev Up Your AI Discoverability, How to Get Found in AI Chatbots and AI Search. Today's agenda, we're going to talk through an introduction, including some guardrails, bumpers, and assumptions. Then we'll get into three sections that are very important for your discoverability. First, leading off with meaning, exchanging keywords for semantics. Then getting into structure, about how we can label our content for clarity and speed. And then finally, answers, how to be authoritative, citable, and quotable. After that, we'll take a look at measurement, how we can measure success that follows our execution. Let's start off with a few words of caution, though. AI chatbots and AI search are in their infancy. Updates and enhancements often come fast and without warning, so we really urge you, be nimble, stay curious, and embrace change. As it is right now, the state of AI for consumers is kind of like trying to build an IKEA entertainment center without illustration, without instructions, with nothing. You're pretty sure all the parts and pieces are there, but you really don't have any idea what part connects to another. The next part about this is discussing how we label this process. There's answer engine optimization, search everywhere optimization, AI search optimization, generative engine optimization, farmer in the Dell optimization. It's all out there. There is no consensus on what to call this new discipline. Answer engine optimization is our choice. So for the next 20 minutes, we're going to use that term, AEO, and answer engine optimization. Getting into the introduction. AI means SEO plus. One of the most common questions we hear is, how can I get my site found in AI results? Now, for all the opinion that's out there, for all the articles written, for all the information that's being pushed your way about this, you might assume that there's some big secret to it. The fact is, there really is no secret. It's pretty straightforward. Here's what we've got. AI discovery is a unique discipline all its own, but its roots are in SEO. The principles and practices used in SEO lay the foundation for successful AI discovery. This is pretty fundamental to this process. You can work really hard to get discovered within AI chatbots, but if your SEO isn't so good, you're probably not going to be as successful as you could be. So this is the reality. It's SEO plus. The way to get your site and brand found by AI chatbots, AI search, it all starts with SEO. And if you doubt it, go ahead and ask the chatbots. They'll tell you so. Here we have Gemini. SEO practices are foundational to AI discovery. ChatGPT. Yes, SEO practices still foundational. Perplexity. Yes, SEO practices remain foundational. Even Claude. SEO practices are increasingly foundational. They all agree. SEO is where this all starts, and having really good SEO organization about your website is going to help you with AI. Let's start off with one of the pillars, and that's meaning. We need to start thinking in a different way about our content. SEO plus semantic optimization. This is the first pillar. This is the most important plus. Traditional SEO focuses on keywords and topics. It's out there helping you find red apples. AI optimization focuses on semantics, the meaning and context of your content. It's out there trying to match your thought to content to further the query or the prompt that you put in to help you find the information you need. AI tools understand the meaning of your content. So here's a little test of this. Tell me about red apples. On the left, we have organic search and the results that came from it. On the right, AI chatbot. I believe this time I used ChatGPT. Tell me about red apples in organic search. Look at all the keywords. Red apple, red apples everywhere. Search is really about matching the words you use in your query and the intent behind them and coming up with a list of websites for you to look at to find the answer you're looking for. Now, if we look on the right-hand side where the AI chatbot gave a response, red apples used a few times, but nowhere near as much as it is in organic search. What it's done is looked at the query. Tell me about red apples. What are they? What are the common varieties of them? How do we use them? The list was actually longer than this. There were 4 or 5 other categories that came up. This is really important for how we go about getting discovered in AI. AI is looking for the content you have, and it understands what you've written on your page. And then from that, it extracts the parts it needs to create its answer. What we need to do is start writing with extreme clarity using natural language. This is a key thing we must do with our content. A chatbot must understand your information unambiguously and trust it as a factual source. Then it will extract the answer from you. So your prospect goes to ChatGPT. How many credits can I transfer into the MS program? Your website says students may transfer up to 6 graduate level credits from an accredited institution. You would probably think that ChatGPT is going to answer the number is 6 and be done with it, but that's not really it. Any credits from any grad level course? What if the credits are from 15 years ago? Your website is not addressing these additional questions. And this is something that we need to keep in mind when it comes to how we look at our content and assess it. Websites with unambiguous content will get mentioned over sites with less complete answers. This quote from the website up above is kind of an incomplete answer, especially if some other website has a content page that answers the rest of the questions. You have to think about what follows next. It's not just how many credits can I transfer? What specifics what specific credits can be transferred is the next level. Design content as complete answers, not as a host for keywords. That's the first tip from this particular presentation. Now let's get some perspective. Over the last 24 months, AI chatbots have had an 80% growth rate, but Google search has grown 21% at the same time. We're in late 2025 right now. AI chatbots are used by a majority of consumers in addition to organic search, not as a replacement. They're using AI chatbots for a different purpose, for different types of questions. In fact, they're incorporated in different ways in their life. Quite often, AI chatbots are used more for creative output than research. The next topic is structure, labeling for clarity and speed. SEO plus structured data. Now, structured data is a big umbrella term. And when we talk about structured data for websites, the type is called schema markup. I'm going to ask you to wrap your brain around this, but I'm also going to tell you this is probably the most technical part of the SEO process. Schema markup is structured data for websites. We just said that on the previous slide. But what is it? What is schema markup? It's like a cheat sheet that we build into our website content. And what it does is it helps search and AI programs understand our page in a much clearer, more specific way. If we look at the right-hand side of this slide, what we can come away with if we were one of these bots crawling the content, South Central University's accounting is offered at Springville. You can get an AAS degree using Apple computers. It's a quick way to shorthand what's on the page and find out if your page is offering the information that the consumer's query had when it passed it on to the chatbot. Think of it as tags added to specific and important parts of the content. Really, this is about speeding up access to the information you're presenting on your website. You can go it alone or you can hire it done, but in many ways, schema markup is no longer a nice to have kind of feature. It does help with SEO. It always has. When we started using schema markup on websites 9, 10 years ago. Um, but when it comes to AI, applying schema markup at a moderate level of detail can really help content get found in the search first and by AI second. And here's where the difference comes in. Schema markup is a direct benefit for Google's AI overviews in Gemini. Google has tremendous experience with schema markup, having been the biggest search engine around. So, of course, they built their AI tools to use it. But there's an indirect benefit for AI chatbots when they use search to find answers. The companies who created ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and so on, they're not search companies. They did not have a background in organic search at all. Their tools don't natively support schema markup. They don't go out and look for it, but they do depend on it as part of the way they get some answers. Now, I don't want you to stare too long and hard at this particular slide, but when it comes to getting data to answer the prompt or query somebody puts into an AI tool, it comes from two different ways. On the right-hand side, it's model-only data. AI tools are trained on vast amounts of data, crawling the entire internet to take a static picture of the internet, and that becomes the training data. And model-only data means you've asked a question, and it can answer the question just from that data. The more recent addition is what's called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. What this means is you've asked a question that is fact heavy, time sensitive, domain specific, things like that, where that snapshot that the AI chatbot took months ago can't answer the question. So it needs to go out onto the internet. It needs to use a search engine to find information and then bring it back in and augment its own generated answer with that information it's retrieved. RAG is what we're talking about. When we talk about getting found in AI and chatbots in an AI search, RAG, that's the place where we're focused. Schema markup helps identify what's important. This is the big takeaway. While important for SEO, structured data is foundational for Google's AI products. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, the rest, they don't rely on it, but their search partners do. ChatGPT's primary search partner has been Bing. They're starting to create their own search engine, but Bing is where they get these answers that are not part of its learning set. Copilot uses Bing. Claude uses a popular European search engine called Brave. Perplexity had been using Google, and then they released their own Perplexity search tool called Comet some months ago. So now they're onto their own. It's the part of the search partners in this pairing. That's where schema markup can help. Check your CMS documentation. Schema markup tools might already be built in. If you're using WordPress, several plugins are available to help with schema. The final section in helping you get found in AI is talking about answers, being authoritative, citable, and quotable. SEO plus answer optimization. We need to keep this front of mind. This is the most important thing. I've said that several times, I know, but this is one of the more important concepts we have to keep in mind. AI tools do not want to return web pages. That's what search does. They want to show answers. So for you to get cited in an AI response, your content must be a source for a part of the answer that's provided. In this context, we could think that SEO is for pages, AEO is about the content itself. To be found in AI responses, we build on many SEO practices and then some. For example, we used to be told that 1,500 word blog posts were kind of a goal to hit if we wanted to have good SEO for that blog post. We also no longer write just to include keywords using near and exact match. We're no longer doing that to make sure we get red apple mentioned in 5 or 6 different ways on the page. It's SEO plus answer optimization. What we should be doing is writing to clarify the answers our sites offer. Top recommendations include clear Q&A sections on a page, bulleted lists, tables that answer a user's query. Not all of this on one page, but use the parts that you need page by page to help get your answer clearly stated and in front of the AI chatbot. Now, in a way, SEO is kind of like your ticket to the dance. We acknowledged several slides ago that RAG, when it has that retrieval augmented search going on for the prompt you've put in, or it's relying on a search engine, that's where SEO comes in because it helps get your website found for the searches that the tool is doing. Now, here's the real big kicker. Your ranking in search results matters less than EEAT. You may have heard this for the last several years. It's become something of a buzzword, if you will, in how to make SEO more effective. If your content is reflective of your experience, your expertise, your authoritativeness, and your trustworthiness, that is what the AI tool is looking for as well. AI is looking for the most concise, citable, authoritative answer among the results pages. SEO gets you found in the searches that the tool does. The EEAT model here makes sure that the content that gets turned up by that search can have a chance to get found in an AI model. So tip number 3, use Search Console plus Looker Studio dashboard to find the questions your audience is already asking. Then optimize existing content to generate those AI answers. This is an actual example out of a website that we work with. This can be found inside of Search Console data, much easier to do when you bring that into a Looker Studio dashboard. How to become? That's a terrific question for somebody who's trying to get education. How to become a radiology technician, how to become a CNA, how to become a dental hygienist. All of these questions are out there. In fact, you can see all the impressions in just a 2-week period. You can also see that 7,700 impressions and only 89 clicks. The overall click-through rate is just a hair over 1%. This is a place where you can walk through the door and get into AI search by answering these questions well on the content pages you already have. How to become? How do I? What is? Start thinking of the questions that your prospects are asking. Put it into a tool like this and find out the exact words they're using, find out the context that they're in with the question, and then start building the answers into your page. So we've talked about meaning, structure, and answers, how to help yourself get found in AI. The next thing is measurement, because success follows execution. Success is always measured downstream. It's always after the fact. This is something else we need to pay attention to. You'll do a lot of work up front, and it may take weeks and months for it to pay off because it's the decision cycle of the prospect you're dealing with. If you're talking to somebody about a certification class with low cost and meets 2 nights a week, you probably don't have a tremendous window of consideration from, hey, I want to go to take this class, to committing to it. But if you're talking to somebody who's a busy working adult who's looking to tack on a master's degree to the education they already have, they're going to take some time to consider. That could be months of time. So this is why success is measured downstream, and it can take months before it becomes realized. There are direct indicators of success. The chart at the bottom of this slide, this comes directly out of Google Analytics. You can build it today if you wish. So in the context of AI discovery, success metrics would include things like website traffic, key events and leads that are generated. You can measure this. So Google Analytics can help you with this because the metrics are there and readily available. Where it gets a little more fun, though, is what's happening actually inside the chatbot, what's happening inside ChatGPT or Gemini. This is where we start looking at things like visibility. How prominent are you in citations inside those AI results? Mentions. How many times are you called up to be cited? Now, a caution here. Today, there are very few measurable behaviors inside AI responses. In fact, the platforms themselves have a hard time quantifying what goes on inside the tools they themselves have built. Don't get sucked in by empty promises. There are limits to reliable tracking in the AI environment. Do some study, do some research, make sure that what the tool you want to use is using metrics that are recognized as being fairly common across multiple tools. On the right-hand side, we've got Tracker AI. It's a small tool. It has a limited number of metrics because that's what it feels is actually something that can be measured out of AI traffic. The free version, yeah, it's out there. You can play with it and get some idea of what your visibility score is or your average rank and so on. But there's a for-fee version that gives you all the data. And you'll see what's missing if you go out there and try to use it for free. It's not terribly expensive. I think it's right around 60, $70 a month. But it's the first of its kind, along with several others. And this type of measurement tool will mature over time. So let's talk about a summary here real quick. AI discoverability is SEO plus a new layer of technical and content optimization. This is all focused on machine comprehension and information extraction. In short, participating in AI results means performing SEO plus. Now, just enough time for a bit of a bonus. This is the best AI-related advice that I've heard so far. It's kind of shocking. Work to become AI-proof. I saw that and read it and thought, wait a second, I don't know where this is going. And then I read on and it made sense. Summarization resistance is what we're talking about. AI chatbots do one thing very, very well. They find dozens or hundreds of highly relevant answers online and then summarize it by mashing it all down into one paragraph or a bullet list. Over on the right-hand side, you can see that a particular welding career now website has been cited twice over there, but it was all compressed into one paragraph in the response. The brass ring is to resist summarization. Create content with answers written from your unique perspective. The way not to be summarized is to be so helpful and to state things so clearly and in the most unique way that there's no way to compress it with and mix it in with other answers from other websites. Our advice, start by picking one question and work to answer it on one page. Learn what works for you and your audience. Find the methods that in content writing that satisfy AI and also provide a good user experience. And along the way, you'll start gathering the information you need to take that process and make it repeatable across page after page after page on your website. So thank you for attending our webinar. And we'd like to ask right now, what questions do you have?